In their 7th year of dating, the boyfriend and his white moonlight officially announced their relationship with a kiss photo posted on Weibo. My current success wouldn't have been possible without your support behind the scenes. What aspect of him isn't something my family has given him? Since I can't do without the support of my white moonlight, I, as an irrelevant person, might as well step aside. So my older brother said, the group is terminating all cooperation with Zhu Yanzhe. My mom said, anyone who dares to collaborate with Zhu Yanzhe is an enemy of our Zhu family. My grandfather said, starting today, have all resources to Zhu Yanzhe. On my 22nd birthday, it also marked the 7th anniversary of my relationship with Zhu Yanzhe. Yet on that very day, Zhu Yanzhe posted a public announcement photo on Weibo, showing him kissing his long-time crush, the woman he'd always been secretly infatuated with. My success today wouldn't have been possible without your support behind the scenes. He wrote, seeing their sweet, intimate moment made me feel utterly sick. The anger boiling inside me was about to erupt into a raging inferno. Zhu Yanzhe knew full well that the one person I hated most was Mu Yuan. I'm a second-tier celebrity who frequently attends various events and is considered quite sought-after in the entertainment industry for my acting skills. But Mu Yuan has relied entirely on underhanded tactics, using that deadpan expression that everyone describes as radiating a sense of brokenness to scrape by in this business. Of course, the real key to her success has been Zhu Yanzhe pulling strings behind the scenes for her. Everyone knows that Zhu Yanzhe was originally promoted by me, and they're all aware of our romantic relationship as well. Keaton Mu, standing right there, turned to Qiji Hui and asked aloud in front of everyone, is he really losing his mind? I simply couldn't understand. Was he trying to make a scene at my birthday party just to humiliate me? My friends, seeing the darkened, unsettled expression on my face, couldn't help but shake their heads in disgust at Zhu Yanzhe. Just then, the door to the private room slowly slid open. Zhu Yanzhe hurriedly jogged in, clearly eager to give me a hug. I immediately pushed him away. His body reeked of the cheap, pungent perfume that belonged to Mu Yuan, and the smell gave me a splitting headache. A delicate figure stepped in from behind the door. I stared at it with incredulous, wide-open eyes. To my surprise, Zhu Yanzhe had actually brought Mu Yuan in right to my birthday party. What are you doing bringing her here? I demanded of Zhu Yanzhe. Zhu Yanzhe glanced at me briefly, then picked up the microphone beside him and looked out at the crowd gathered around me. My friends, he began, I'd like to announce something here today. Today is Wei Wei's birthday, and there's something I've been wanting to say for a long time. Yuyan. Mu Yuan shyly walked past me and went over to Zhu Yanzhe's side. The moment their eyes met slowly, even the slightest movement of their eyebrows couldn't hide the deep affection between them. Both of them were clearly wearing matching couples outfits. Standing aside, I felt like an outsider. Mu Yuan linked her arm through Zhu Yanzhe's, and the two of them looked utterly sweet together. Zhu Yanzhe smiled. Laughter, everyone. Vivian, I have already amicably parted ways. Now, Yuyan and I are the real couple. I hope everyone will let this matter drop. Vivian, I haven't been in love for a long time already. I genuinely like Yuyan too and hope to receive blessings from my family and friends. Yuyan has been quietly supporting me behind the scenes for a long time. I think it's about time I gave her a formal recognition. When Zhu Yanzhe said these words, he didn't consider my feelings at all. I don't even know when we parted ways amicably. And he even did it on my birthday. He simply doesn't care about me at all. This isn't just a slap in the face, it's an insult to me as well. I'm throwing resources at Zhu Yanzhe left and right. Everyone here today is a prominent figure who's made it big. Behind my back, they probably can't wait to laugh at me for being a hopeless romantic. He says Mu Yuan is supporting him behind his back. Doesn't that go against his conscience? And what about all the resources I've poured into him over the years and the connections I've painstakingly built? If I just dumped it all on a street stall and sold it like cabbage, at least it'd still see some money. But putting it all on Zhu Jianzhe, it's as good as throwing it away for nothing. My best friend, hearing Zhu Jianzhe's words, slammed her hand down on the table and jumped to her feet. The manager, who had been trailing behind Zhu Jianzhe, quickly stepped forward to apologize. Sister Weiwei, please don't get mad. Zhu Jianzhe is still young age. She is not worth getting upset about. You know yourself that she is probably just caught up in a flirting whim. Don't worry about this. Within a few days, he'll give up. By then, he'll still be counting on you. This. Huh. Who does he think he is? Huh? My best friend showed absolutely no respect. She strode forward boldly and slapped Zhu Jianzhe hard across the face. Who do you think you are? After devouring Weibo's resources and connections for so many years, in the end you can't even make it into the second tier. You can't even get in. You two shameless bitches. How dare you show up here so openly and brazenly? We've got to get this straight today. Zhu Jianzhe, if you don't give the media a clear explanation about what happened today, it'll never let you off the hook. Zhu Jianzhe wouldn't dare to challenge my best friend. In the entertainment industry, everyone's status is far from simple. He can't afford to offend people lightly. Senior Su, there's really no need for you to get involved in what's going on between Jianzhe and me. Right. We genuinely love each other, only the one who isn't loved is the third party. Ms. You can still be friends with Jianzhe, can't you, to be so petty? I laughed out of annoyance. What right do you have to bargain with me? Today is my birthday party. What's the deal with you two singing and dancing here like animals and he openly declaring your love for each other like this? Since you said we've parted ways amicably, then there's absolutely no relationship between us anymore. Please ask the irrelevant people to leave. I have a bad temper. And when I encounter a situation like this, I get really furious too. Moreover, these two are even more disgusting than the other. Zhu Jianzhe's agent wore a flattering smile. Really, why bother? After all, you and our Jianzhe can at least be considered to have a decent trapper now. Friend, look, today is your birthday. How about we celebrate it first? Jianzhe too wanted to take this opportunity to share some good news with everyone. He didn't think about how you'd feel, and that was his fault, his total fault. As the agent spoke, he winked at who is Jianzhe. Yet Zhu Jianzhe seemed not to notice at all, still holding Mu Yuan tightly in his arms, his eyes brimming with defiance. Shui, don't go too far, Zhu Jianzhe spoke up, his voice stinged with a hint of impatience. I've already said we've parted ways amicably. Yu Yan is my girlfriend now, and I'm bringing her along to meet my friends. What's the problem with that? Friend, I sneered. Zhu Jianzhe, get this straight, this is my birthday party, not your garbage dump. Please take your new flame and get out of here right this minute. Yu Jianzhe was so speechless that he cowled and say another word, his face turning red with embarrassment. Miss Yu, how could you possibly talk like that? Mu Yuan spoke up at just the right moment, her voice sweetly contrived and artificial enough to give me goosebumps all over. Brother Jianzhe just wants everyone to know about our relationship after all. After all, we truly do love each other. Truly in love? I stared at her heavily makeup-covered face, feeling a wave of nausea rise in my stomach. Zhu Jianzhe, your taste is really getting worse and worse. You could actually bring yourself to say something like that? Shui, don't push your luck too far. Zhu Jianzhe finally lost his temper. He took a step forward, reaching out to grab my wrist. Get lost. He yanked my hand away from his grip, snatched a glass of red wine off the table, and splashed it straight onto his smug face. The bright red wine trickled down his hair and cheeks, dripping onto the couple's outfit, which was clearly carefully coordinated by Mu Yuan, looking all too much like ugly bloodstains. The private room instantly fell completely silent. Everyone stared at me in astonishment, then glanced back at the utterly disheveled Zhu Jianzhe. Zhu Jianzhe wiped the wine off his face, his eyes dark and menacing. Zhu, how dare you splash me? I'm not only daring enough to splash you, I'm also daring enough to hit you, I said coldly, glancing at him. I pulled my phone out of my bag and immediately dialed my brother's number. Brother, Zhu Yanzhe has breached the contract. Activate Plan BBY today. I want him completely erased from the entertainment industry. After hanging up the phone, I looked at Zhu Yanzhe and a cruel smile curled up at the corner of my lips. Zhu Yanzhe, who do you think you are? Do you really believe that just because you made a scene here today, you'll somehow soar to great heights and become a phoenix? You're mistaken? You're nothing but a dog raised by the Zhu family. And now that a dog dares to bite its master, it'll only end up being beaten to death. Zhu Yanzhe's face turned deathly pale in an instant. Shui, you can't do this. My relationship with Yu Yan is genuine. All my current fans are here because of me. Because of what? I interrupted him. Because of your plastic minus surgery face? Or because of that soul minus called white moonlight behind you? Zhu Yanzhe, wake up. Without the resources of the Zhu family, you're not even as good as a third minus tier celebrity. And those fans of yours aren't most of them bots? I turned around and looked at Mu Yuan, who had been silent all along, my gaze icy cold. And you, Mu Yuan, do you really think that by attaching yourself to Zhu Yanzhe, you'll somehow turn your life around? You're nothing but a pawn he's using to make me feel disgusted. Now that the pawn is no longer useful, do you really think he'll protect you? Mu Yuan's face also turned grim. She gripped Zhu Yanzhe's arm tightly, her voice trembling Yanzhe. But Zhu Yanzhe seemed not to have heard a thing. He stared at me intently, his eyes filled with resentment and despair. Just then, his phone rang. Trembling, he pulled out his phone and glanced at the screen. His hand shook so violently that the phone slipped right out of his grasp and fell to the floor. No, it can't be, he muttered under his breath, his face drained of color. I picked up his phone, and the screen displayed a group message from his agency. Urgent notice: the company has decided to terminate all contracts with Zhu Yanzhe effective immediately and hold him accountable for breach of contract. Immediately afterward, his agent also received a phone call. His face instantly turned deathly pale, and he began bowing and fawning toward the person on the other end of the line. Yes, we understand, we'll handle it right away. Hanging up the phone, the agent looked at Zhu Yanzhe, his eyes filled with pity. Yanzhe, how on earth did you manage to get yourself into trouble with the Zhu family? The company just received notice. Lu Group, Zhu Media, and every single company that's ever collaborated with the Zhu family have all terminated their cooperation with you. All of your resources have been pulled away. Zhu Yanzhe collapsed onto the ground, his eyes vacant and empty. No, it can't be. Shu Wei, you can't treat me like this. Yuan is still carrying my child. You need money. I can give you money. I looked at him, and my heart was completely undisturbed. Zhu Yanzhe, you're really pathetic. Even at this point, you still think I'm only after the money? I crouched down, staring at his face, once so captivating to me, yet now it makes me sick to my stomach. Shu Wei, I've never lacked money. What I really lack is a boyfriend who knows how to be grateful and reciprocate. Unfortunately, you're not that guy. I stood up and straightened my gown. Susu, see the guest off. My best friend, Suju, immediately called the security guard and dragged Zuzian's Mu Yuan out as if they were garbage. The box's door closed once again, sealing out the outside hustle and bustle. I picked up the microphone and, looking at the distinguished guests seated around me, once again wore a polite smile on my face. Everyone, sorry, there was a little mishap just now, and it's delayed everyone's time. Let's continue with today's birthday party. The music started playing again, and everyone seemed to be tactfully avoiding bringing up what had just happened, each raising their glass to offer me their condolences. I responded one by one, wearing a smile on my face, yet my heart was icy cold. 7 years. It took me 7 years to turn this penniless, impoverished kid into a rising star. In the end, he wanted to use my resources to support his white moonlight. It's utterly ridiculous. Weiwei, are you okay? Suju walked over and handed me a glass of champagne. I'm fine, I said, taking the champagne and downing it in one gulp. Susu, help me look into Muwaiyuan. I need to know everything there is to know about her. I checked it out a long time ago, Susu said, pulling out her phone and scrolling through some documents. This Muwaiyuan isn't pure and innocent at all. She used to work as a hostess in nightclubs and had shady relationships with several wealthy patrons. Zhu Xianzhe met her at a nightclub to those who have been hooking up for ages. I took the phone and looked at the photo on it. Muwaiyuan wore revealing clothes and sat on the laps of different men, her smile obsequious. They really are a perfect match. I handed the phone back to Susu. Susu, take these photos. And also, Zhujian CES violation. I'm sending all the evidence of the agreement to the media. I want the entire internet to know exactly what kind of person Zhu Jianzhe is. Got it? Susu smiled. You'll make sure they're utterly disgraced. Just then, my phone rang again. It's a number. I hesitated for a moment, but still answered the call. Ms. Xu, hello. A strange male voice came through the phone. Deep and magnetic. I'm Lu Chen, president of Lu Group. I paused for a moment. Land subsidence? That legendary business tycoon, ruthless in his methods and never once defeated. How could he have called me? Hello, Mr. Lu, I composed myself and spoke respectfully. I wonder if you have any instructions for me. Don't mention it, I wouldn't dare accept such praise, Lu Chen said with a faint, barely perceptible hint of amusement in his voice. I just heard that Miss Xu has a birthday today, so I took the liberty of giving you a call to wish you a happy birthday. Wish me a happy birthday? I frowned, feeling that things weren't that simple. Thanks, Mr. Lu, I said politely. I wonder how Mr. Lu happened to know my birthday. Naturally, someone told me. Lu Chen paused briefly. I really appreciated the way Miss Xu handled Zhu Xianzhe just now. So straightforward, efficient, and completely free of unnecessary delays. My heart gave a sudden jolt. He phoned out. Mr. Lu, you're joking, I said, forcing myself to remain calm. That's my personal business, no need for Mr. Lu to worry about it. Family matters? Lu Chen let out a laugh. Miss Xu, have you forgotten that the contract Yanzhe signed earlier was with my Lu Group? It's me, the one who suffered the greatest loss from his breach of contract. And yet, it's you who've actually helped me resolve this very problem. I fell silent. Indeed, the endorsement Yanzhe took on earlier was for LUS Group. So, Lu Chen continued, Miss Xu, I'd like to meet with you face to face to thank you in person. No need, I replied directly. If Mr. Lu feels he has suffered a loss, I can ask my older brother to compensate him. You, Miss Xu, Lu Chen's voice turned serious. This isn't about money. I want to see you, it's about something else. What's the matter? As for Zhujian Zes White Moonlight, Muwaiyuan, I suddenly gripped my phone tightly. You know her? We're not exactly acquainted, Lu Chen said. But back then, when she was working as a hostess in a nightclub, she once tried to flirt with me and I turned her down. There was a buzz in my head. Yuan. Did she seduce Lu Chen? So Lu Chen's voice carried a hint of sarcasm. The white moonlight that Zhu Jianzhe so proudly cherished is nothing more than a withered, faded flower, a woman I rejected. And yet, for the sake of such a woman, he abandoned Jum as such a lady from a distinguished, well-bred family. How pathetic. I closed my eyes briefly, and the nausea in my heart surged again. Mr. Lu, I took a deep breath. What do you want? I'd like to work with Miss Xu, Lu Chen said. I'm looking to acquire Z's current agency and you can help me do that. I opened my eyes and looked out the window at the bustling night view. Mr. Lu, I said, I just don't get it. Why would you do something like this? Is it just to get back at Zhu Xianzhe? Of course not, Lu Chen smiled. Zhu Xianzhe isn't even worth my personally stepping in. It's just that I'm very interested in you, Miss Xu. I held my phone, and my heart inexplicably began to race. Mr. Lu, what do you mean by this? Literal meaning, Lu Chen said. Miss? Shoo. 10 p.m. tonight. The top floor of the Dihao Hotel, don't be late. Then the call ended. I held my phone, standing still, unable to snap out of my daze for a long time. Wei, what's wrong? Suju walked over and looked at me with concern. Whose call was that? I glanced at her, a bitter smile tugging at the corners of my mouth. Susu, I said I might be gotten myself into big trouble. Or rather, it's like falling into a larger vortex. Land subsidence. That legendary figure. Why does he want to find me? What does he want to do? I looked at the time displayed on my phone screen. It was 9:45 am. There are 15 minutes left. Go or not go. I took a deep breath and made my decision. Susu, grab me a coat, I said, turning around and heading toward the outside of the private room. Wei, where are you going? Sujo called out from behind her. I stopped, turned around, and smiled. Going to meet someone who might change my life. The rooftop of the Dihao Hotel. I stood at the door of the presidential suite, took a deep breath, and pressed the doorbell. The door opened. A tall man was standing at the door. He was wearing a black silk dressing gown with a slightly open collar, revealing his sturdy chest. His features were deep and profound, his gaze sharp and piercing like a languid lion, ready at any moment to leap up and strike. This is Lu Chen. Miss you, he said, looking at me with a wry smile playing on his lips. You're even braver than I'd imagined. I raised my head and looked directly into his eyes. Mr. Lu, I said, him here. What do you want? Lu Chen turned slightly and made a gesture inviting him to come in. Come in and dwell talk. I walked into the suite. Beyond the enormous floor minus to minus ceiling window lies the city's night view, sparkling like a galaxy of stars.